Okay, so we're going to get started on our argumentative essay. It's super exciting, super jiggy. So what you have in front of you, hopefully, I told you what you need to have, your sources, your green packet. Make sure it's the one that says argumentative and not narrative. And you also have your vocab binder. And yesterday we put in the number 14 paper, and I already started it because I had to start my video again because I said the wrong things. Anyway, and you have your 6 marker pens. And you have your favorite pencil. So I know mine's a pen, but I have to write in pen so you can see it. So the first thing, purple, you are going to highlight the attention grabber. And I'm going to talk about all these things, and then I'm going to show it to you so you can see it and pause it. The background information that sets the stage is no color at all. And your overall argument, both sides, is going to be green. And so because our green is really light color, what I do is I take my pencil and I write green right by it, because some of you, it's hard to see the difference, but the overall argument, which is both sides, like the issue, is green. And then reason 1 and reason 2 are yellow, just like explanatory. And because those are so similar to green, I'm going to put a little note here that they're yellow. And thesis is always, 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 always blue. So your first paragraph, you might want to pause me if I went too fast. Your first paragraph, it looks like this. Dun, dun, dun. Pause me. Okay? Transitions are always orange. So I'm going to do all 3 transitions. I'm going to do the paragraph 2 transition, and then I'm going to jump down and do the paragraph 3 transition. And then notice what I like. And paragraph 4 transition, and then paragraph 5 transition. So I just did all in orange. I did all 4 transitions for paragraphs 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to add a couple notes, because I have favorite transitions. When you write an argument, there's some like psychology involved. And you have 2 reasons why you want something to happen. Reason 1 is good, and reason 2 is better. And you tell the reader, reason 1 is good, but this is even more important. So you can see for paragraph 2, I give you some ideas, some examples of how to start that one. And then you could see paragraph 3, second, next, to continue. Here's my favorite one. Grab your pencil. My favorite one for paragraph 3 is even more importantly. I love this one, and I wanted you to handwrite it because it really tells me that this is super important. So this is the one that I love. I mean, I love. Like, I give A's left and right when you tell me even more importantly. Okay, so next. Paragraph 2. Your least persuasive reason. It's good. It's good. It's green. So again, remember our greens are they're very light. So your least persuasive reason, and in paragraph 3, your more persuasive reason, those are both green. And because they're so light color, I'm gonna write on them green. I'm gonna write green right there too. And here's what's a little bit different than explanatory essays. Because in explanatory essays, you have 3 reasons, details, facts, and then you elaborate with at least 2 pinks. Evidence, your quotes are always yellow, and you have to have 2. You have to have 2, and they have to be the best. So if you pick a quote that is like so, I'm probably on purpose going to do not what you want me to do. So evidence 1 and evidence 2 in both paragraphs 2 and 3, they're yellow. So I'm going to write yellow on them too, and I'm going to show you. So that's yellow, 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 and yellow. So I have that all as yellow. Do you see that? Ooh, so close. So yellow and green. And then of course, explaining and elaborating is still pink. So I'm going to add those pinks right there. So paragraph 2 and paragraph 3, structurally they look similar. You can have several pinks. Remember, you win an argument, and we're in it to win it, with solid evidence, but you really win it with your elaboration. And that's where you have to use the connotation, the words with strong positive or negative feeling. You have to use bandwagon. You have to use statistics. You have to use, you should do it because it's the right thing to do. The ethical appeal, where an expert says this is what should be done because we need more sleep, or the CDC says teenagers need this, because all those reasons, all those things make me want to do what you want to do, and they're persuasive devices. So here's my paragraph 2 and here's my paragraph 3. Looks good, right? Now I'm going to go to the counter argument, and already there I gave you some examples. On the other hand, or critics would argue, or just point out that this is going to be what the other side would say. And counter argument is just like transition words. It's going to be orange because we want it to kind of stick out. It feels weird as a 7th grader to say what the other side would say. And here's what's weirder. You have to take evidence and you have to support what the other side would say. So you're not only saying that you can train kids to sleep, you have to give evidence to support that. So any evidence, any quote is yellow. And then you're going to follow it up with some good elaboration to get me back to your claim. And remember, all the time you elaborate, it's going to be pink. So here, if you look at this, these notes, it looks like, so you see how those are yellows. I'll make a little note of that in case you forget. They're not green, they're yellow. So I can't say in the counter argument that you will only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. 5 would be basic. But some of you write in such a succinct way you probably could do a good job, and to add more would be wordy. But I think for what you have going on, arguing if you want school, if you think school starts too early, you all have experience, you all have your opinion about it, and you know what's best for you and for your family. So you're gonna have quite a few sentences, and you have experience with it. So let's jump to paragraph 5. To restate the thesis with synonyms, we still do that in blue. Thesis statements are always blue. And your reasons, your details, and your facts, they're yellow. So I'm going to not only highlight them yellow, I'm going to call it yellow here in the notes. So if somebody borrowed mine, they would know it's yellow and not green. And we don't highlight background information because we want it to pop out because we didn't highlight it. And like the attention grabber, so what's different in an explanatory essay is you give me a strong statement. And you do the same thing in argument, but you actually tell the reader what to do or how to think. So that is purple. Ooh, that's a nice purple. And I call that a mic drop moment. It should be like that. Yeah, I should feel that way. So here's that last paragraph. Freeze if you need to. Okay, so here you have some notes. Now, yesterday we read through the sources, and you highlighted some things yellow and you highlighted some things pink, and some of you didn't highlight very much. So you who didn't highlight very much are going to have to really, really, really read through this and get to know it better. I'm not going to tell you what to highlight, because this is where I find out you are great at the 7th grade. But what you do have in front of you is this green packet. So the overall issue you're arguing is, does school start too early? And so you have to pick a side. And your side is your claim. You can't say yes, but also no. You're picking a side and you're sticking to your side. So your claim is, yes, school starts too early, or no, school doesn't start too early. And I'm talking about Stevens Middle School. And you're writing it as if you are going into the 8th grade. But I want you to keep in mind that when you go to the high school starts, like the tardy bell rings at 7:45. and that is 35 minutes before our bell rings. Some of you think school starts for us at 8:05. It doesn't. It's just you can come in the building at 8:05. You can be dropped off at 8:15, and as long as you're in the building, in the classroom you need to be by 8:20, you're good to go. You also have to keep in mind that on Wednesdays you don't start until 9:20. So maybe that's part of your elaboration about how you sleep so much better, or you feel better, or when you take a test on Wednesday you score better. Or maybe you're a person that's a morning person and you're able to go to sleep at a decent time at nighttime, and Wednesdays you're just off because like you've wasted an hour of your time because you were waiting for school to start. So some of you fit in that criteria. So you're going to pick a side. So your claim is going to be yes, school starts too early, or no, school doesn't start too early. And then you're going to have your first reason and your second reason. These should be really big concepts, like reason 1 is good, reason 2 should be better. For example, you might go with school does start too early, and your reason 1 might be something about the way your sleep cycle works, how it changes, and the melatonin, like from source 2, that went into a lot of great detail, but just how your body is changing and it's hard for you to fall asleep at night, so your sleep cycle. And then maybe your better reason is you thought schools wanted you to be successful, and we know that kids who have good rest are successful. So these are big ideas. There's no quotes yet. So reason 1, reason 2, and then you have to figure out what the other side would say. So if you think school starts too early, what the other side might say is it's very inconvenient to families, especially families that have elementary, because this doesn't work for elementary. Starting later works for high school kids, because little kids, they wake up early and they're ready to go. Older kids need more sleep. Not more sleep. They need to be able to get enough sleep. And if you have a job and play sports, and if you want to do that when you're a little bit bigger, you want to volunteer, you want to get involved in something, it's really, really hard to get it all done. Plus, your workload in high school is greater than it is in middle school. You don't have tons of homework. In high school, you're going to have certain classes where you're going to have a lot more homework. Okay? So you just kind of like figure out your big reasons. No quotes, nothing here. So this is just getting you organized. What you're going to get done today, and I'm going to tell you this all right now, you're going to finish this outline today. Here, I'm telling you, your purpose is to argue, and I know this is backwards. This is you're writing a letter to me, or Mrs. Lunt, or the superintendent of Port Angeles School District, or the governor of Washington State. Who are you writing to? And the issue I'm going to tell you is, does school start too early? And you write it as a question. It's just the overall issue, and this is where you write your claim. Yes, school starts too early, or no. And then you have those 2 reasons from the other side. Here's your reason 1. Here's your reason 2. Remember, reason 1 is good, reason 2 is better. Now, in these boxes, underneath your reasons, this is where you find your best quotes that support the reasons. So if you pick that your sleep cycle changes, you have 2 really good quotes, and you put a little note in here, S1 paragraph 5, S2 paragraph 8, S3 paragraph 4, and S1 paragraph 9. So when I look down here, I see evidence that supports this idea. I can also say, okay, source 1, source 2, source 3, because you have to use all 3 sources. So you're going to make sure you note that. The counter argument, you're going to take from the front. It's what the other side would say. This is a piece of evidence that supports your counter argument. Source 2 has a lot of evidence that supports it. Source 1 has a little bit. This is where you find your strongest, best piece of evidence that gets you out of the proving that the other side is right hole. Okay, so this is the best, strongest evidence. And evidence, so this is a quote, 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 and this is a quote. And you write it all out. Write it all out and tell me S1, S2, S3, and what paragraph number, because I'm counting the paragraph. And the more you write on here, the better plan you have, the better you'll do. And I know for some of you on the explanatory essay, you really dug a deep hole, and there is no getting out of this hole here. So make sure you outline it well. And this last box is not evidence, it's not a quote. You just tell me what I'm supposed to do. Change the start time of school, or don't change the start time of school, or what is it you want me to do? Okay? So that's what you're going to get done today. Questions? I'm here. You're going to keep working? Okay, see ya.